Hello everyone. Today's video is about generosity. And if you're good with coats, if you like fashion, you might be able to immediately tell what I'm speaking about. But if you don't, this coat that I'm wearing right now, which makes me look like a professional, even though I'm not, is a Helly Hansen coat. Now, these coats are very expensive. I'm not going to name a number because I still find the number terrifying myself, but this coat was bought for me by my mom. And it felt like she barely even thought about it. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that when I get to that point in my life, I will have that generosity towards others. I would have spent that money on someone that I care about without even thinking about it. But still, I think about it frequently. The generosity of a gift like this with such a high dollar value. And I think it ties into self-esteem really nicely, actually. Because if you don't have a good self-esteem, if you don't think that you're worthy of something, then when someone gives you a gift like this, you're not going to feel like you deserve it. And for me, my self-esteem has gotten a lot better over the past few years. And really, I think it's hit a point where I'm happy with it over the past month or so. But even so, that doesn't happen everywhere at once. And I think an area where I feel the most growth needs to happen is accepting generosity. Because at the root level, the reason why this gift feels so generous isn't because of how much it costs, although that is a factor. It's about my perception of myself. Clearly, I think that I am not worthy of this gift. Otherwise, I would not feel the way that I do about it. I feel like I don't deserve it. I feel like it's an incredible amount of money to spend on somebody, even if you care about them. And that's despite what I said earlier about knowing that I wouldn't hesitate to spend this money on someone I cared about, did I have the means to do so. And so the only logical conclusion from that for me is that while my self-esteem has become good in some areas, namely how I feel about the photos I take, it isn't good in others. I think another good example is I have a friend who wants to help me buy a gimbal for my birthday. Now, if you know anything about gimbals, you'll know that a good one is very expensive, in the order of hundreds. And so to help someone buy a gimbal is a huge investment. And though I'm there for my friend every day, I still feel like I don't deserve it. I still feel sort of panic on how I'm going to excuse this so that I don't have to accept this gift. But why do we feel this way? Why can't we accept generosity from others? Because really, it's a selfless act. When you are with somebody and you care about them, I don't mean in a romantic relationship, any relationship, whether it be a friend, a romantic partner, or simply an acquaintance, if you care about them, you're bound to be generous towards them. And I feel the same way for my friend. I think I'd give a lot to him. You know, I've been very laser focused on my goals this summer, and so I haven't had the time or the finances to be able to spend that kind of money on someone. But I've thought about it numerous times, and it seems hypocritical. If I would do this for him, why can't I accept this from him? And the same goes for my mother. If I had the means to give her such an extravagant gift, why can't I accept a gift like that from her? You see, relationships have to go both ways, whether it's romantic or otherwise. And so for me, today, and I'm just now realizing this, I think that I haven't been mutual in my love for myself in my relationships. And that may sound a bit strange, considering that relationships seem to be about give from one side and give from the other. But if you know anything about relationships, you'll know that in order to have a healthy relationship, you and the other person have to both love yourselves as a prerequisite. To quote The Head and the Heart, I can't remember what song it's from, until you learn to love yourself, the door is locked to someone else. And it's been said in those words before. It's been said in many different phrasings before, but it's remained true all this time. No person can hope to enjoy the love of another person if they do not have love for themselves. Because their self-esteem isn't good enough, and if they don't feel like they deserve it, they won't welcome that love in. Love is not a laser force. It does not go through solid objects. And if your self-esteem is poor and you don't feel that you deserve it, you are that solid object. So no matter how much someone tries, they'll never be able to get in. And you may be able to form a relationship. You may even be able to form a bond, but it won't be long-lasting and it won't be healthy. Thinking about my friend, I wonder, why haven't I had this mutualness in our relationship? Because I would do this for him, like I said. But I feel weird about accepting it from him. So I think that's something I need to work on. As I get older, I become increasingly focused on becoming a better person. And people in my life tell me that I am one already. But for me, I don't think the journey should ever end of becoming a good person. You should always try to be nice to your brethren and to your family and to your friends, because you never know when they'll be gone. You never know when you'll be gone. And you want to leave a good memory. You want to leave yourself a good memory when they're gone. And the only way to do that is to love yourself enough and have enough humility to change and to grow. Believe it or not, being a good person is not a skill instilled from birth. It is learned over time. And so, if you want to love somebody, if you want to care for your family members, you can't expect to just wake up one day and say, I already am a good person. Because while I recognize that I've made significant efforts over particularly the past year to be a good person, these efforts are not concluded. And I don't think that they ever should be. Because even now that I'm happy with myself in most areas, still, I want to be better. And like I talked about in the video I filmed yesterday, it's kind of about the work aspect. Once you develop a love for the work that you're doing, because of the goal, it doesn't matter so much that it's hard. You do it anyways, and you reap the benefits. This happens in all areas. In relationships, in personal achievements, like purchasing something that you want, and in work life. Work becomes a lot easier when you enjoy it. But the only way to enjoy it is to figure out how to love your work. Because even though it may not be enjoyable, your coworkers are human too. Believe it or not, I am human. This is a revelation to me. And so, I think it was a few months ago that I learned to value my coworkers. And around that time was also when I started enjoying work. Even though I'm paid to be there, and even though it's quite physically intensive, I still enjoy it. And I think that you should find a way to do so too. I hope what I've said in this video touches you somehow, because I think that a lot of people should hear that even if they have good self-esteem, that doesn't necessarily extend to all areas. Just because you can accept a compliment doesn't mean that you love yourself. And so, work on that. I'll show you some photos I've taken today. Please enjoy. Thank you for watching.